me people, them wanna try remember. Friday, September the 1st, King of the Life Nairobi Lounge. For you, the very best of me, like, for me personally, right now, where they fall, like up line, like, anything where you get out, man, ask me. Street governor crew, me, na the admin, if you get the virus, me, na the vaccine. So what? If someone no die, someone no go better. Among we self, but people, they will take it now, they sort the house, but say, remember, Friday, September the 1st, King Amit go then I will be launch live for logo yak badem. Yak badem. There are so the thing go. Yak badem bad. Yak badem. Yak badem lengben. Yak badem. Yak badem bad. Yak badem. It dey honor you, the success dey honor you. It dey trouble you, oh me, oh mine. Yes, me people, them wanna try remember. Friday, September the 1st, King of the Life Nairobi Lounge. For you, the very best of me, like, for me personally, right now where they fall, like up line, like, anything where you get out, man, ask me. Street governor crew, me, na the admin, if you get the virus, me, na the vaccine. So what? If someone no die, someone no go better. Among we self, but as people, they will take it now, they sort the house, but say, remember, Friday, September the 1st, King Amit go then I will be launch live for logo yak badem. Yak badem. There are so the thing go. Yak badem bad. Yak badem. Yak badem lengben. Yak badem. Yak badem bad. Yak badem.
Alright, good morning and welcome to another edition of the program called Korea Skype on YouTube and on Facebook. And of course, this is not the last edition of the program for the week. Waiting it gets, waiting the paper then say, now things that we can look at inside the program this morning. And after which, we will bring to you the guests and where we don't already, put together for you for this particular morning. And we'll go to the very first paper for this morning where we will begin for look. But please, before ever we go to the paper for this morning, we want to kindly ask you for please subscribe if you not don't do so yet. For you will not subscribe yet to the channel, we kindly ask you for you do so. Let's just take my time in the projector for you, let you see exactly how much we talk about right now. Right now we did 86,534, and we actually want to go to 100,000 by October. So waiting this will get for me. We find out say inside we country then get what they call YouTube get what they call partnership, YouTube partnership, and we country know the amount standing. So if we reach to that side, we will be part of them, and then we go be the ambassador for we own sense of country, for let other people themselves where they create their own content, them they able for get the benefit of YouTube. But interestingly, you find out that anybody with inside we are right now inside Sierra Leone, we na partner to YouTube. It means say you get for go extra miles. What in that mean? It means say you get for go the extra miles for make it go able for find somebody way out of the country for let help them forget exactly waiting he go able for do for let it be partner to YouTube. So this not the barrier we want for broke because we feel say it not supposed for the be like that. But other countries, they all done it above 100,000. We still the struggle. So if we first reach to that point, we will stand a better chance for able for the advocate for the country, because YouTube they consult regularly the partners them on things that we then feel say they for do for improve the own system YouTube platform. So this very much important for we all. So please, you will not subscribe it. You don't know over na Facebook, come over to YouTube, subscribe, and then you put on the notification bell. This na benefit for we all, not to just for we have or we on selfish how they call them. We waiting we benefit no more at the end of the day, but rather yes, now waiting everybody will benefit, because once we be part of the partnership, serious one, then it means say we all will benefit from the content then we put together. All right, so we'll go to the first paper for this morning. Now look at the paper for this morning. First one we get this morning Beyond Borders. Beyond Borders say NIA CG expresses dismay over non-compliance or use of electronic cash machine. And coup in Africa. Rwanda president retires 95 generals, 930 soldiers. and why ACC discuss with open government partnership. The next paper, na Night Watch newspaper, we say stolen elections. US imposes travel ban on government officials. 2 months on BO's controversial regime. Fuel from 21,500 to 30,000. Extra tariff from 11 to 23 per unit. Packet water, sachet water from 500 leones to 1,000 leones. If I call on that way, no feel bad on something like Apple make a call on that way. Okay, sachet water. It gets relationship to one particular tongue. So sorry about that. IGP approves 100% women in FPU 5 and talk and do government kills Sierra 1 year without salaries, no equipment, no leave allowance, office turn resident and brothels. Then the next paper where we get inside the program this morning at the Glen and newspaper, we say US government bans election criminal and family members. And you as well get BO government scrap opening embassy on occupied Palestinian land. Alright, we go to the next one in Africa 24. Sierra Leoneans brace up under these hard times. Keke clock 70. Okay, we go to the next one. We now the Drone newspaper. We say with over bloated cabinet and economic crisis, President Bio continues to make new appointments. Democracy rebels get US visa ban. Ahead of Power Fest, CEO UBA to host Power Women 232 delegation. The next one, at Sky Times, we say election theft, US visa bans on ECSL and others. President Bio's choice of Honorable Kane is no mistake, citizens say. And Sima Sierra Leone is exemplary role in addressing the commendation, in addressing TB commendation. Organization for Widows launch in Baobab. And then the next paper, now Standard Times, electoral fraud, US to impose visa sanction on Salon. Threat to babies, mother jail 24 years. The next one, a Provincial Times, we say citizen caution government not to ignore a mass threat against embassy decision. Fuel crisis deepen citizens' livelihood woes. And then you get police ban on night fishing may cause seafood prices hike, and the accusation of land grabbing increase against land ministry. Massive ship appreciate officers Sierra Leone. The next one, a Calabash newspaper. The next one, not the Calabash newspaper, sorry. Okay, the Calabash newspaper say US Secretary of State slam visa restriction on those undermining democracy. Chief Minister South Korea Ambassador hold high-level talks, and the government endorses Peace Commission post-elections resolution, and Lands Ministry hosts comprehensive orientation for SLAAP interns. Magistrate Mark Geba remand 10 for Kush. The next one, the daybreak, we say ECSL and others in hot water. US government drops bombshell. A new chapter for Leone Rock Metal Group exportation. The next one, the Source newspaper, we say President Bio appoints youth to head EPA. The people's leader, Dr. Samuel Kamara, a beacon of compassion and humility. Massive shape extol official Sierra Leone. They combat dirty money. FIU validates national risk assessment regime with 500 acres rice farm. Sierra Tech boost food security. The next one, now the Salon Compass, we say Sierra Leone voted SAFU. Elections rigged SAFU. Donor funds stop SAFU. And citizens suffer SAFU. Election and Nyampis. US slam visa restrictions. The next one, open space, we say first port female deputy GM take office, and as he prepares to review constitution, President Bio enhances press freedom and political inclusion. Sierra Leonean appreciates NACIT's unshakable credibility. The next one, at the Watch newspaper, for undermining the democratic process, US imposes visa ban on Sierra Leone officials. President Bio prioritizes human capital development. The next one, appointment news, with a mother sentenced to 24 years for dumping baby in Latin. US imposes visa restriction on persons responsible for undermining Sierra Leone's democracy. LRMG records milestone in iron ore exportation. UNDP appoints Frederick Ampere as resident representative. The next paper now Women's Voice. We say kudos to President Bio again. Has Port Authority get first female deputy GM? And as women show solidarity, Dr. Lahai blast over gender insensitive remark. And thanks to Street Child's LEONE, brighter future for marginalized children. Clean water, solar powered well for grafting. Thanks to Suzuki Foundation and partners. The next one are the EOS newspaper. We say as Lambert and partners challenge government, open fight erupts between citizens and the passport printers. Peace Commission stop shots of demanding publication of election results. And over 100% tariff increase imminent, more hardship on citizens. See for the media, the next paper we say, what's the matter, Mr. President? Political crisis, shattered economy, rising inflation, exchange rate depreciation, increase in EDSA tariff, surge in prices of food and fuel, staggering hardship and vulnerability. That's where we get focusing on asset recovery with a human rights-based approach. HRD Sierra Leone in partnership with Restitution UK and ACC train MDAs, CSOs and media. September 1, Minister of Internal Affairs goes into action. Will First Lady encourage a child abuser in her office? Mercy ship. The next one now, the Focus 24, we say time to act is now. Salon faces worst economic situation for undermining the democratic process. US land traveling ban, and as he sets to announce an open door policy, NIA Commissioner General engages the business sector. AZ newspaper say the chapter for LRM Group's exploitation, murder at Amani nightclub, 45 years for convict. President Bio reiterates commitment to constitutional review process for dumping newborn baby, mother jail 24 years. Frederick Ampere appointed as UNDP resident representative to Sierra Leone. A drivers union expresses concern over fuel price increment. Voice of Salona, next paper, this impact of fuel hike, worsen inflation, increasing poverty to a new height, making production more expensive for business. US land visa restriction on election riggers and conspirators. ECSS stand on broken legs. Cambia stakeholders extolled chief administrator. And the next paper, I think now all the paper that this will get inside the program this morning, and we'll take a very short break, and after which we'll come with we get us inside for that we come and discuss the issues that we already done. See now this for in this paper then.
He dey honor you, the success they honor you. He dey trouble you, oh me, oh mine. Yes, me people, them wanna try remember. Friday, September the 1st, King of the Life Nairobi Lounge. For you the very best of me, like for me personally, right now where they fall, like up line latrine, anything where you get out span, ask me. Street governor crew me na the admin, if you get the virus me na the vaccine. So what? If someone no die, someone no go better. Among we self badass people they will take them out, they sort the house, badass people. Say remember, Friday, September the 1st, King Amit go then I will be launch live for logo Yagbadem. Yagbadem, they are for the kingdom. Yagbadem bad. Yagbadem. Yagbadem lengben. Yagbadem. Yagbadem bad. Yagbadem.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome back. You watch Congress on we are on YouTube and on Facebook, and of course, you don't see the topic, you don't see the different things that will happen in the country right now. But inside the program, we just don't get one of the guests, and we expect another one for January inside the program pretty soon. And the one who don't get inside the program now, Melvin Tijan Mansari, we're a resident reporter in the Parliament, and same way so don't they analyze different issues that we get for those Parliament and national concerns as well. So, Melvin Tijaman, welcome to the program this morning. Melvin? Alright, so we still get issue with Melvin.
Oh yo, Raga Spice. Oh yo, Mama Salon, what's on an answer? See me through, yeah. They say them walk alright. They say them thief money. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. They say them go build the bridge. The part they fly boku. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. They say corruption go down. You not then corrupt. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. Them be say youth them go smile. Look where youth them they cry. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. May I fi tell them the story. Story. We make Salomon. They know they work now the country bend. Tribalism don't put we go behind. They know they work then they talk say they spend. Them go come we go run after them. For we country money. And it's how we them go one by one we go friend them. For we country money. And it's how we them go one by one we go friend them. Country banana the country it dry. Country tanga it at so smile. Then they put whip and cry. They say them walk alike. They say them thief money. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. They say them go build the bridge. The part they fly boku. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. They say corruption go down. You not then corrupt. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. Them be say youth them go smile. Look where youth them they cry. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. I pay the people and don't tire with the system. Tire with the way then they lie. Where they want make them host and them married with salo money then they use buy. Where they want buy their speedboats and them salo money then they use buy. Where they tell them the truth and they vex. Now radio and TV they deny. Una want them move for the bambai. Una want them move for the bambai. We tired with the rotten system. Tired with the way then they walk. We don't tire. Tired with them but cool like lie. Tired with the way then they walk. We don't tire. What another in the country? We don't tire. And sound of the give fire. We don't tire. We belly them empty. We don't tire. What another in the country? We don't tire. They say them walk alike. They say them thief money. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. They say them go build the bridge. The part they fly boku. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. They say corruption go down. You not then corrupt. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. Them be say youth them go smile. Look where youth them they cry. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. Now then they shoot, then they loot, then they take, then all they put. Regionalists, them sit on them youth. Raga Spice, I tell them the truth. How long pan this? How long pan that? How long for the thief with money and go? And no me say because of a born pampo, that means we for die pampo. The economy is slow, country not they grow. Oh no, Ebola lalio. And then they give away the light like the cutting. And it's how they go. We stronger than the country. We better than empty. What not in the country? How we go survive? They say them walk alike. They say them thief money. All the promises where them make go, one day not fulfill. They say them go build the bridge. The part they fly boku.
Alright, please, I want to apologize in advance. Not just that one for play long music, but because of the internet challenge, we try to figure out how the guests can go come inside so we get a better sound. As you be already don't see Melvin don't come, but it gets issue with the line. Thank yourself. So we try to see how best we can able for sort out them and bring them over to WhatsApp because the internet just too bad. And unfortunately, the internet tariff just to go, and now then they negotiate again for letting ace them up again. So it's just too sad, it's just too bad. So please hold on and please bear with me.
Oh yo, raga spice. Oh yo, Mama Salon, question and answer. See me through, yeah. They say them walk alright. They say them thief money. All the promises where them make go.
Alright, welcome back. And like I've been saying, I've been already introduced Melvin, when I'm parliamentary resident reporter, and same way so don't they help for throw light on issues that inside Parliament and out of Parliament as well. So this morning, the day with me, follow we discuss issue as we talk self Tanko self from Africa 24. I self don't join me inside the program. You know, Tanko, okay, in line the connective when now WhatsApp with it still they reconnect and it just don't drop them again because the line really bad this morning. All right, no problem. So we'll go straight and begin with Melvin. Melvin, what thing happen inside the country? What everything you hear?
Well, it's not strange, and it just speaks to one fact that political arrogance, political stalemate, if you not address them, then go address you. And sometimes the way them go address you, now we are seeing now it's addressing you means personal. And the talk of the town is the, well, visa, what we call ban.
Yes.
On unknown government and other officials where they believe say they undermine the democratic process in a saloon. And this, I'm sure, we see them become, although some people will be deny, some people will feel say not important, some people even they sit at the well of parliament, despise the Americans. Firstly, let we all agree say Sierra Leone are sovereign states, fine. But let we all agree say Sierra Leone a donor-dependent nation. And it seems as if people have been turning a blind eye to that, even when the country cannot get budget assistance for the last quarter of the last year before elections, people are still blinded to the fact that things were not going normal. So this morning, I think say Salon the grapple with government official waiting for can talk. So I hear people and talk say ICC invite, no, not for just sideline talks on security matters, attempting to downplay it. Before now, we see the US ambassador being grant an interview where some of them things here were said. And we all know it now the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room now that, in fact, we now come to realize that even the so-called committee for review the elections was as a result of demands coming from international partners. Apparently, the diversion there is who that for lead that investigation day. And I think say, because of that refusal to accept an independent third party, we are seeing these targeted actions coming against certain players in the establishment. It's
but we see
not good.
This thing be happen. We see the American ambassador being give interview to 98.1. We see government official like you heard say other people and they come back and begin for punch and back line face. You know, at some point the Minister of Information come and say, now the man in your personal opinion. And in the look forward, in government they look forward for see how they can get a better, they will develop better working relationship with the incoming, ambassador. So now with just few weeks where this man don't talk them things there, then this action don't come. You think we still go to feel saying in personal opinion on our waiting because he been telling say nobody know the way they take decision on your own US and government. Only decision on any word where they come out and talk, not from the United States government, Washington.
Aliu, that minister they for understand say not like where you deal with Children's Forum Network. Dealing with governance is not like dealing with advocacy
so
or lobbying.
From network because he get idea for one now.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of the catalysts them who forget and credits for. Yes. But running the Children Forum is not running the Ministry of Information or speaking for government. And when you try for attempts for filtering a Pekin you talk to in communication on PR, I believe that first diplomat, first blunder that they make upon taking office, attempting for divorce the ambassador in comments from the government in comments. So my interpretation is, and since not to the government not been talk, now the government don't talk. Len can talk back, lawyer now say, not to the US government don't talk. That was an unnecessary diversion, and it means that some of the new players them where we feel say because they are young and they are vibrant and they are skilled, Some of we now don't get a change of views that they are just yes men, we're just the answer with anything the president they tell them. This is a big slap on his face. He owes Sierra Leoneans an apology.
All right.
And he owes the outgoing ambassador an apology. And all the one that we don't they curse and they talk spiteful comments. Therefore, no say all embassies or consulates then get something called political office. When are intelligent associates and they people well trained, then they get that information from all sector. So when then they ask you for something, no means they do not get them. They want to see no more how high you can take your standards. The big disagreement is produce disaggregated data. ECSL's refusal to do so is what has brought us to where we are now. So those are simple facts that will be done to talk. But by then, people then be feel say it's just about winning election, it's governance. But it goes beyond that. And of course, we ever take another 3-6 months for there, we talk about fighting this process out. Because I was just reading the policy on inadmissibility, and for make them say you are an inadmissible person for enter America, it gets several implications, not only for you as the individual, and the statement they talk about their families also. So somehow if you say in Fambul and they over under then safe, if they are not US citizens to and through, they might even be removed. There are several times they can their status, their admissibility status can be removed from them, meaning that they will be sent back to their countries. In worst case scenario, if you have a balance, you can be deported. So this is what we will talk. People will be saying will get respite, where Allah be in a salon for go sit out. Or people will say the wet man and fool. We don't know say 97 different now from now. These are the things we talk about when people commit democratic coups. And I feel say the American government is sending a message that we don't need to allow say democracy fail before we correct
and that's very clear in the statement.
Of course, you allow this to continue the next thing. I mean, it's cool. And how long it will take for you return to government? Now we see somebody Nigeria asked for 4 years. We don't know what Gabon get for ask for. Guinea and Nepal and Yon. So the US they don't know say their foreign policy is failing by way of being reactive. Now they are being proactive because military then only take power in Africa because democratic institutions, as now some leaders don't be equal and they wage democratic coups. Sierra Leone election can be a case study. And now they are sending a very strong message to Francophone, to Anglophone West Africa that if you attempt, because you think you are democratically elected, or subvert the will of the people, you will be punished. And this time, it's not with sanction or embargo or manual go fed like ECOMOG. But now so if you say you get your big couple, and mind you, this is just one step. We are not talking about asset freezing yet. There are so many options available there, and nobody wins out of it. It's not good for the country. I asked the question to the communication officer for the US Embassy, now one forum where we did, as to what happens to the people and we suppose we don't get invited for go hunger. You know, it's coming up this month. And the response now that there could be or there might be an exception. But Ali, you don't with man country you know where it's man say you might. It means say even if it be say it will take a long process. And I just read the Homeland, I just watch the Office of Homeland Security, their website. The process is so lengthy. We need firstly, if the government want for fetch this case, firstly they need to get lawyers them at home and abroad. They need to get people that will understand immigration, the immigration situation. Firstly, it's a whole diversion for a country where poor, where the members say for develop, where people are angry, people are sick, people are die quick one, where they grapple with all sorts of economic hardship. So people must learn their lessons. And across the political divide, I think say this is a less way for land. Okay. APC boycott parliament and international community seem for the boycott the government.
All right. So let me come with you inside. Tanko, the issue of this thing we don't come up so right now. You know, this is not a very new month, you know. Let just take me 10 first. I just see something we pop up on my screen where it make a smile when I see them. And maybe let's share out everybody. Marabil just tweet and he say, as I enter September, #September, I am optimistic about the incredible potential within our nation and the boundless opportunities that lie ahead. Each day is an opportunity to contribute to Sierra Leone irreversible progress as its people's well-being. Our collective effort will outcome challenges. will outcome challenges, achieve our goals, and create a brighter future for the current and future generation. Together, we can build a society that thrives on the principle of justice, equality, and prosperity. As we usher in the new month, let us foster a spirit of unity and cooperation and focus on I underline this word, and focus on important matters to work forward a more prosperous and inclusive Sierra Leone. I wish you all a rewarding month on our shared, journey. Tanko, you really feel say with this kind of big message, Madabi you really get happy new month.
Well, first of all, I want to say good morning to all viewers and listeners then across the world. I believe say this is a crucial time where Sierra Leone face as of now, they speak. That statement from the president, it really go down well with me, the Sierra Leoneans and the ordinary man, where they feel a pinch for now on which they go on globally, based on the CVT Common study from the superpower power in US. Chelsea, they say all the under involved on the particular election fraud, then they ban them for travel. Now automatically this they send a signal says Sierra Leone a very, very serious case to the bar. So that message where Madam Beauty send now a message in a word of writings, but which they have not done is actually different thing, man. So if you ask me a question, then a very short question and answer. Will you say who did I gone? They feel a pinch, they feel the things will happen, we will say every day a big challenge for the ordinary man. And we that is people who they see in the journalism, things that they happen very tough. So a statement like that, if we try to address the root causes of what happened before ever we talk about the bigger things. The root causes here is they just address the issue of the elections. We are in as you don't address we don't get the total peaceful ones. So people are peaceless for now. Highly peaceless because when people are grumble, everybody things are difficult. So statements, people don't try with rhetorics, people don't try with writings. People want now things really big in life better. So we'll not believe say things are going well for now. Things are not going well for now as I speak. This country because of one the system the way they go. Things are tough. Everything they go up, everything so everybody they just think about what they happen now school open. What they happen. So if the statement of the president they talk so well, they're good for them. Maybe it's also okay for them. But Sierra Leoneans, the mass majority, be it SFPP, APC, is very tough for now. If we try to address the issues, the way come up with these particular difficulties, with the election issues, maybe say within the act so is can with the very minute allow people can do this thing maybe say independent or can investigate what happened the election fraud where we see allegation take place there, then all the observers don't talk say elections not credible. So back up with the main opposition. So now this is the root cause for address, don't digress on this particular issue, Mr. Alumba gets in peaceful one. Because people they work, job not they see every day, even with money they back out on the money, they say making money. So this is a big problem in this country for now as it is. So will you say that statement they will say fine, but more address the root cause as of now.
Okay, so now we go inside your own paper SSF where you did, where in Africa 24, right? And you wanna put this big banner headline where I will need for you tell me, brace up, we find for that. It says Sierra Leoneans, brace up under these hard times. What do you try for talk about?
Well, this hard time, meaning things are difficult. You talk about the transportation difficult. You talk about fuel, don't go very massive. They talk about even ordinary water. This grabs in water now is 10,000 per bundle. So man, which they do now right now, if you go to the market, you can go back and they pump and then pump whatever they think now. They find out say even salaries they are not forthcoming for the one they work. So man right now no pay it, but sectors they don't receive salary it. So man don't left job. They find out like for just imagine like this Sierra Leone Port Authority where transform to Suma, they don't lay them off from January. They never get benefits. They don't take a protest wherein the final say months down will pay full time. Now it's in the final say the only way government will generate money now is increment of this fear. Where you see any money increase fear, they mobilize, will get money for pay staff there, pay people who work at the civil servant. So these are the things that we say very difficult. We say the ordinary man they feel like I mean they feel them. Alright now grab. We some man right now we have private car they pack up. They train the final say from Calba town to PZ for now is 5,000 euros. Talk about you talk about Waterloo from Bombay to Waterloo is 12,000 euros. That if they not rush hour they take 15,000. Nobody no check. So these are difficult times to people. So money they move safe because of what? One, in the beginning actually say who side they go? I will get what I want. So man in daily place, so man live by day. So things are very hard for now for Sierra Leoneans. Difficult times, hard time, especially the transport sector, especially thing for it. If you want to go to market, a bag of rice don't go, a small bag of rice don't go to four something. A full bag they clock to now to 900 to 1 million. So just imagine how the people are able to live. Salary still lay down. Salary still remain the same. The minimum wage are just about the same every day. Salary may go up.
But I just hearing the Minister of Information, they tell you the minimum wage now 800,000 now. It don't come up from 600.
I 800,000. What you able buy? How much for one bag rice? One bag rice is about 800,000. You go get minimum wage 800,000.
Okay.
So just imagine which you able do.
All right.
Half bag rice is about 400,000. Which you able do. So not to that day, the money they call and say 800. What you able do that person life? Nothing.
Okay.
Zero,
Let me continue with the discussion.
Yeah.
And Melvin, let bring you inside quickly and let take you through the C4D media newspaper. And this now within the C4D media, and this one are the mixer again with you, Marabio just tweet. C4D media say, what's the matter, Mr. President? It say political crisis, shattered economy, rise in inflation, exchange rate depreciation, increase in ETSA tariff, surge in prices for food and fuel, staggering hardship and vulnerability. But here, Marabio, they call on we, Sierra Leoneans, say, as we usher in the new month, let us foster a spirit of unity and cooperation and focus on the important matters to work forward and more prosperous and inclusive. Melvin, all of them things that where this paper don't highlight, what you don't talk about now the biggest issue in this right now for people. So what do you mean when Marabio, what do you think Marabio mean when you say focus on the bigger issues them, the most important matter them, way important to Salon people? If not to the
Sengepi, I'll let you give me the first paragraph. That's how we talk about focus on the power within. Give me that sentence there back.
Okay. Okay. It says, as I entered September, I am optimistic about the incredible potential within our nation and the boundless opportunities that lie ahead. Each day is an opportunity to contribute to Sierra Leone's irreversible progress and its people's well-being. Maybe I can go on more if you want more.
No, left and this no more. Okay. It sounds very, very. This now an innuendo. This now what we call talk inside talk.
Okay.
If it's coming at this time, first we go ask yourself. Now, so the president can tweet any new months. If now so he can tweet, with now the language of then tweets, then they any new months. That is fine. If now new invention we create, which is good. But apparently the timing of these tweets and what happened just 13 or 15 hours ago, and you're using with the words like focus from within, is it not sending a message of nationalism versus globalization? These are trends globally, wherein government them if you say they have been that is squeezed them too much of uphold democratic standards, then quickly recoil into what they call whipping up sentiments of nationalism. Salona we own, like waiting the honorable to have been talk the last time at parliament, where some of we be outrightly say was not in place.
And now on the same ambassador in talking and come up with.
Exactly, and he make reference about America not getting moral standing. And we do the material, right?
Yes.
Where you say America not get the moral standing. So if you talk them and they wimp up national sentiments against global partners. And don't forget, even in America, as we speak, Sawa is right to say the election is disputed and people then they're indicted. But what is it? Now the opposition party in America, they said they tell you about how the DOJ is being weaponized. This is not talking for Ufambule na Salone. So the allegations again for them, but what's important now the matter of facts. Donald Trump now in a tight place because of the DOJ, they produce evidence there against him. So what would they say? If you say America not for lecture you, who say a former president is being indicted, be it for political or any other reason, we not say, hey, but one case you go still alive, 2 case, 3, 4, 5. So it should say that country will get standards and not compromise democratic best practice. So if you then as a lawyer, when they try, they put their couple, they put their assistants for help you, and all you can do now for begin telling people and say, hello, focus on we industries, let we generate. Even if Salone becomes the wealthiest country, Sierra Leone can never survive in isolation. So when political leaders they attempt for things so, I hope not to that kind of message in the President Bio in that first paragraph they send. And it's unfortunate that he not even talk about this pressing issue. He's talking about let's focus about the important issues ahead.
And then
what
he
is
add the second paragraph say our collective late to it you talk. Our collective effort will overcome challenges, achieve our goals, and create a brighter future for our current and future generation. Together we can build a society that thrives on the principle of justice, equality, and prosperity.
He's been political, that's a rhetoric, he's been hypocritical. He wants to speak to the issue, but he's not. I don't want for them a president, want talk about it, he want pull alligator in our water, but want calling him that kind of scenario then they.
Or the big for facing him.
Yes, and you see the big elephant in the room, but want facing him. What is more important than the electoral dispute? What is important than you say don't talk say there is an knowledge need for dialogue? Why you not tweet and update people on who say you go efforts you government not make for mediate, for dialogue, for call your opposition? What is more pressing than issues about your own officials or officials under your government? Although we don't know them and we still press US government for let them tell with them, but even if we don't know from inside Sierra Leone, we know America for what it is. There is a tendency for those that list for be leaked. No information on the in America. We not
leaked. This not a secret. Of course, if you begin comes, one of the people that we don't talk about all, the first way Salone people will think of Mohamed Kone. In a number one.
Well, Aliu, American man and West man and people are clever, and then I'll give you the list. Long no can create people and let people and no can send people and die before their term, or some man can get feel bad before himself. Because that list they will say one speculates, bruh. So man,
okay, well, Melvin, wait. Tanko, who that you feel say this particular thing will affect the most? I mean, the one way the ban get for Amma the most.
Well, they said you are the way involved in election fraud. So you know say you conduct elections, automatically name the inside. You know say if you say you win elections, but people in the international committee don't agree with you. You name the inside. It's just like
when you make them by force say now you.
Now you. So it's just like where I remember 2018 where this government come, they say white paper. So they say Sierra Leone white paper. This now US white paper now. The US white paper. Yeah, you know name the automatically. So why you know yourself just like you see the chief here. All my chief here automatically will become looking grown. You know say chief. If you know say go worry. So this now thing they know themselves. They may be say they form the electoral coup against the people of Sierra Leone. Wherein the will of the people not reflect where the rich man is still emphasize. So now the statement of the people where the press list guys study. So still these elections, they get issue. Wherein the only solution that the one thing to expect where the president and others in talk now is the solution. The solution is not go back. If they really run election, they do them back. But that message, the SFP government.
I picked something from the government, Tanko and Melvin. I picked something from the government even this morning where Solomon Jamil been there at 98.1. The last time where the Minister of Information been there at 98.1. On this issue, remember one time the US Embassy say then need the government of Salone for set up independent body way for look into the election. Well,
Yeah.
the government been say no, not only in directive from US then dig, but we still say matter be go to parliament and they say they set up a committee. So I come back and say and Jules Jalo and the head of the committee. US embassy come back and say no. You know go be the referee and you be the player at the same time. Jules Jalo benefits from this kind of problem within the election business right now. So how it will be the thing? It will influence or it will just direct the thing as you want for go. But don't look at what the Minister of Information say. The Minister of Information, Chino Bar, as you say, a field say na Children's Forum Network is still the rule. He say this committee where the president set up, so Madabio set up, he said not to for look into the election results. Rather, now for look at several reforms them. But this morning, on 98.1 again, Solomon Jami will say, then don't set up a committee where for look at all of them problems they are. So this now the way how the government always they speak. This will speak today, that they speak tomorrow. So it's like they feel saying at the same kind of level where US they operate. So what you want to think about then kind of the double standard or double what's there from the government officials?
No, the government first will be realistic. But when they be hypocritical on this and they try to take the intelligence of the people for granted, then they make ridicule of themselves. And sincerely, I tell you, the new Minister of Information and so-called Civic Education, for me, in the first 100 days, it don't cause disasters in more days than maybe the predecessors. I mean, how can you go ahead and just get that kind of situation, feel say you go review an election, you don't talk about the results? It just shows the fact that the government is stubborn and people in the government are stubborn around the reality, around contention of the results. This is the bottom line. This is the elephant in the room. And if you talk about reviewing and doing anything, you recommend say you not talk about whether the results is reach or not reach, waiting people will vote. That report they will talk like play cook. So if somebody they can talk, if they say they talk to some charity people, everyone knows say Sierra Leoneans are not fools. So it don't make serious blunder as a young man. Sorry for him. I don't think he ever seen another office there at all. It seems for like the weeks. Forgot about them kind
but
strategic.
in not just say, in promise some people say no go ever lie to them.
Hey bro, you not go ever lie, but the patch lie. For patch lie and lie are the same.
Okay.
Wait until be you say it be but now for different thing. Now the same like when you say it not be. So that's the insults to people's intelligence. They don't feel so that they come on at the West and can't join me. I see that they can work in a government, they are lucky.
Like
or they know it all.
This guy really need for sorry for himself because we find out say the issue of this ICC letter, no letter. It lack the current I don't know how to put them where letter come out in able for coordinate with incumbent them where they at the right place. It just come and talk say that's all of the information they never invited and fake. Then the next minute, he come out for defense say yes, now true, but not to the same way how he come out. And then the issue of the ambassador, this man just they come and they fire in foot and in leg. As young as he be, youthful, possibly forget, the kind way how he for get the vision for lead the country. But it's like instead of just the focus on how you partner for go on. Tanko, what do you think about all of them things that already happen right now inside the country?
Well, to be honest, the final say like the information minister. I doubt if he practice as a journalist because that are the most important. Because communications, if you know the skills, if you know the ethics, if you know the ethos.
No, I'm not sure say ever practice. The only time when me being Sabian for do waiting at the time what we do picking program and Voice of Children, CFN and all. And then he go to international, begin do in CSO work and begin link with international big guns then. But apart from that, I'm not sure anyway.
Well, that's the show for now for say not practice the journalism. Because if you practice, if you know when and how to communicate and things say for tackle. Just like when Melvin say the reality that anyone puts on the ground for and all about governance about reality. Tell the people the truth within the happen because this now the 21st century on everything the layman said no within the go on. See things are not going well. Things are not well in place. Things are difficult. And really, people that know see the West, they against this particular system we operate now with particular governance. Isn't been from the results of the elections to now. Waiting in the ask for say, pull out, do this thing. You say no. So they automatically automatically how for defend. One thing they found out say even the cabinet they know they're on the same page in terms of communication. So this not the thing. They're not on the same page. If I say this man they talk this man they talk this. So it's boxed up. Where are we? Communication not they in line. Which is it? Talk about Salon Jamil, which go talk in different, which in the info minister they talk in different. So the communication get problem. They found us where the West they talk. Just imagine the press release we come out. We watch US embassy which he talk without press release we come out yesterday. All day in the same page. See now this we stand for. So now this thing called governance, but not to box up, they begin talk, they play on people's mind, play mind games on the people. Not to that today, but this now a very, very democratic state today to therefore go about the practice democracy. Now do it waiting at the element of democracy. But people in the debate, but they don't put into autocratic system. With mind and say no, autocratic system they work again like 21st century era. So we need when they come on board, when they tell you the fact, say all about this, but not a new thing inside Malawi. When things that happen, they be say election we get problem. They make sure that they go into a rerun election. They do they don't get peace in a peaceful way of doing things. Go back even Kenya, a rerun election happening. All about this they ask because the election they say issues. And everybody out of over 800 observers them. Everybody but 1995% for cities elections get issue in terms of transparency. We talk about and no credibility, and now statement coming from the super world power in the US. Maybe say they do the biggest funding in Africa, so they are not too specific. Now you talk about the MCC, they don't suspend her. Big money, $400 something $1 million. They say no, we need to kill them already. All funding people they come, they say we suspend first because of the watch which they go. Now the only way government they raise money are from we the citizens through this fair increment every day tariff. Talk about EDSC. And then they raise money now. This the new system where they carry to raise money, pay even themselves. And they see bloated cabinet. Or maybe they add cabinet there, or necessary cabinet there, necessary appointment. Now the expense where they come for reduce the cabinet, reduce appointment, or they see every day appointment they come. So what's how they go? And their appointees they only go for pay there. Now from the taxpayers' money, and the taxpayers' money is not enough. They get funding from donors. The donors they now some man suspend force. Say we need to put money again until we put in a house in order. This house in order, you know, and do it. But then 10 money, go on radio, tell you this, tell you that. Even the MPs they did it right now, parliament. They don't get even salary yet. But good sectors don't get salary yet. To this now a time bomb. Because we man they work, they go no more, they work, they nothing. So man they go sign a money. Nothing they have to talk about ST, no salary. And even when I do the diaspora, what to keep you is about the daily wage. When we down they give money, that we will live a standard life. But that man they go more want to do the care. So this now a very, 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 very critical time. So this legitimacy problem we deal with this government is that issues they face what you call legitimacy crisis. And the government, to be honest, then they run out of cash. Nobody knows this big fact. They run out of cash because one people like we support Sierra Leone, they try for focus again because of these elections. But good thing they will not miss out. So all these things they explain, go on radio, they know and tell people in the fact. People know, they feel them.
Okay.
They grab just and say one move.
Okay.
Point A to point B, they know what they happen.
All right. So let me look at this other one. Melvin, please come inside on this. The issue of European Union, the issue of American, the United States government, the issue of other government. Then now, United States, we don't. First of all, say the money where they for giving at the 400 million, then they slow down on all of that, then things and they. And we see the European Union therefore come up with a report pretty soon. We get for doing the election inside Sierra Leone. So as United States don't place visa ban on Sierra Leone, you think say other one they will follow suit? Or it will just left by United States because what the United States they stand for, now the same way European Union they stand for, and then in fact we come up with report upon report for cry down the election and results. So what do you think? You think so other one will follow?
Firstly, if I follow the trend, from where EU election observer mission talk, the next people will talk now, the US embassy. You see the trend. So Brussels and Washington, geopolitically, they are being dubbed the global north, and we are in the global south. When they speak with one voice because they get common principles, democratic best practices where they outline, where they don't fight for hundreds of years, and Europe still in their own process. So if you see Russia and Ukraine, the fights now for basically democracy over dictatorship in the West, their eyes. So for me, I think say from a nationalistic standpoint, and I want to say America then apply double standard. If the non-terrorists say they are targeting individuals, why are they cutting assistance which will affect the ordinary Sierra Leonean greatly? It's called double jeopardy.
But
if you want to target them by the elections, target them.
If you look at this particular thing you talk about, so you know, say the then government also can give couple indirectly to the government through other organizations them. So it not necessarily means they can go directly to the government because they get someone when they give directly to the government.
Yeah, but I'm talking specifically about the MCC. With the efforts where the government be not put in the MCC and the hopes where be not raised, we say first lady all long dance, we say power long campaign. Those are political rendition, but administratively and otherwise, the government be don't make so much gains, and that's why when you become by this election, some of you be done the advice that look at the gains before you attempt for do something where you erode you gain. First, what it means say all efforts they go begin back. So that package you will not expect for get some first this year. But what it mean also, say where for we don't benefit from water, from energy, as the first lady be say, they don't go benefit. So America also for understand and Britain for also understand.
But
say
again, if they do that thing and they go ahead and give them money, they even when they talk about the kind way how the election not go on well, and then they promote democracy. The same one way you talk so far, we don't come out back say then they play double standard because they go to talk say the election not okay, but they still support the government.
Yeah, but they also be don't come out so don't pledge support to the government. They don't get interactions. If after the election, they don't even approve some monies.
So, but wait, go to ask you this question. You're right, but with all of this, you not still feel say the United States not still recognize the government of Sierra Leone. Well, then say matter be United the president, but them no they ready for work with them, but they ready for support the people. So we mean say they not still recognize this government.
Yes, but if you don't recognize the government and the fact what they say is you don't recognize the government, you don't recognize the people. So there is no two way about it. Okay. If you want to target the government, target the government. But you know when you target the government, you target the people. What do you mean? It add parties of operation, Aliu. This is my point.
Yes,
now, budgetary assistance from them partner then they not come. What do you mean? It means say in the next or in the coming months, government or workers then will go without salary. These are the far-reaching implications. So in as much as yes, when man see election for so far, most of the ordinary post Salomon, we don't know who that then counts, how then counts for so far. That is what we should be telling the West. If not, we will be depleting into a Zimbabwe situation. So let them try. Not so small they go. So nobody now win in this situation, and the government for correct their mistakes very fast. Because if not, technically revo will be going to sue. We all know we'll be under revo, we'll be under sanction and embargo. And then we'll reach so 1-1. But the way they go so, if you don't pull it on MCC 400 million, you don't level travel ban. What's next? Asset freezing. What next? Trade ties being slimmed down. What next? They say you don't get embassy now. So it gets far-reaching effect. You get some people that get business with America, we don't know governments. You get people that really do business in Europe, no one they sabi about the politics. So they're not need for so far because politicians they don't create problem. That's what we should be telling the West too.
But other people will say, okay, some people get for pay the price for all of them things like. But Tanko, what do you think? You listen to what Melvin is saying. What do you think? About supporting the government and supporting the people. They say, as you punish the government, the people themselves they suffer. We're very much correct. But what do you think?
Well, you see, democracy again is a system because you get for meet the tenets of democracy, or let you meet international standard. So these governments, according to what they see USA put and say, meet the standard. So they make it clear, they say they support health, they are in for the ordinary man. For example, now somebody win DV, and they support you go interview, you go. You ain't government get business. My win DV ain't government get business. Now in the embassy get business direct. So then they put in that not to practical science. Now the people understand it, or they may understand. Wetin dem get
Yeah,
business
but
with
sorry, Tanko. Sorry for interrupting. What if the government, in retaliation, come up with some silly actions against them partner than they? That's where it gets sour. See what's happening in places like other countries them with the French ambassador.
Yes, I agree with you, Melvin, absolutely. But in this case, the wetin they want make the government aware, we plan give now funding, we plan give now support, we plan give now XYZ, or they seize up. More than no see, wetin this election go about, is really wrong, election no credible. That's not they stand on. But small support they do to the ordinary might not understand. But this government don't accept that fact. This is not the whole thing about the whole game. And this is international, this is a very big fight. Now the government don't get money. So they above with the donors they back out because of one. The biggest support in the US we see this election not credible, not transparent, get issues. Don't go back to the drawing board. The government say no. So we go for SOFA. That's for sure. Because we say this, they go to more. Some decision go for a month without salaries. So this is a slow revo they are now. Slow revo. We are in the Philippines slowly. So automatically the government go for calm. They understand say this thing don't find a solution. Now the West, what they want with other people. And let me just say not to only US, other institutions they pull your own message. In the EU, they will pull your own message. UK, they will pull your own message. Other supports because to mark you, when you say America talk, 90% people they follow. And Sierra Leone a developing country. One, if everybody in America say a leader be a dictator, it will make sure they get money. Because where the West say no to you, it makes sure I fund yourself. And Sierra Leone, like this kind of situation in there. Look like a Libya, we got to be a dictator. You get money, you get oil. Where which is how they get resources. You know they. If they go to countries where we say people want to be dictator. If one say they get money, they get the money. The country get money, they get wealth, they get reserve. Sierra Leone reserve. You talk about even when in a parliament make us like Belgium. Make me I can just say them budget talking now. The empty kufa. You know the proposal.
Okay. So this question Geopolitical asked to you and Melvin. Melvin, especially you were in a parliament and you were as well to watch the things that really happen within the political, community and Tanko. The issue of this boycott of APC, we see Mohamed Bango, even here we host them, we say pretty soon the other member of parliament then will join them. But with this kind of action from the US government and this kind of, ban or restriction on the way they rig or put on for undermine democracy, you think, say, we see APC they return soon? Or then self will begin press now until they get within the want? Tanko, let's take you first.
Well, this is a clear message where they give confidence to the APC now for say what we see is correct. Unless possibly the CFA, because waiting them want the West don't begin implementer. Because okay now they see waiting they see APC now they get support from within themselves, even for even give them a stipend or let them encourage themselves go see one of them the strong financial man can support. And they get a support fund where they come within the party. For help them small then they between the party, the MPs, this is a clear message for say there is hope for them for say what we see, they must meet to that particular things they will highlight for the elections for see.
Alright.
Because that West, if the West for counter them, will say okay, we congratulate this president, we still support,
then the fight for instance.
The fight on them.
Okay, Melvin, what you say think the return of APC members then the remaining 49 members then of parliament to forgo take the oath? How soon you feel say with all of this, or you feel say the boycott will turn more than ever?
I think say APC now don't get something tangible for go and go negotiate and mediate now now it's clear that they are having the backing of America and the West. First doubts been there because people let me do propaganda around them. So the fact now that is it. That is strong enough because psychologically from a peace and conflict management standpoint, the government psychologically, this should be a big blow. You need to get smart people, realistic people for come and talk around this or make any convincing case. So looking at that, for me from last night to now, I don't talk to many APC MPs. Many of them, when they call it the first thing, I laugh, then they laugh. Because I lead in the platform I create for the parliament, where you see the comments. It should be a victorious moment for the APC, but there should be a caution in here. The caution in the fact that now that this movement don't avail itself, how much they're going to take use of them and waiting and they put at the table. Because it's clear. Now, two things available for the government. Accept and you go back to your past glory, you reject, or you reverse to the unglorious moment. So, firstly, government, then reaction, we have to wait for see. The president right now is talking riddles, so we're not going to get clearly what he try for say. If he is going to accept, fine, but he don't show signs saying that they accept, because they ask you for an independent person for lead the investigation, you need to do So APC now, even the one that we don't can now, then for the field jittery, because you never know if you are under.
We see this BNT lawyer, so he said Mara as well don't come up with way out a pass through the right to access information. For ask for the information, they have to wait on we can the problem. But again, ECSL will not reply. And you think that we will reach to that point at all? Also, we will ever see the disaggregated result, or where they will say the result by stage by stage, where 9 people in the ask for, as that day will get for tell on the presidency.
Outside the results, if the results available, then for puller. But if you know there is no way it can be cooked.
How results not good? If results not good, then how they come to the conclusion for say Madabi win with 56 points on?
Well, that is the suspicion of the lack of transparency and tabulation. Remember when with man we talk that word about tabulation. People have been facing all that in tabulation. Wait till again on the RRF, and now you get on the RRF. Waiting you post now you been sent. Those are all the tabulation processes, you know. So if ECSL not in that position, they for provide that data where they know see other people they get, where the international community diplomat they get, then I'm afraid the government from the one who don't tell them whether it's by way of being complicit or connivance for compel ECSL for pull this data, and ECSL reluctance to pull the data, and I don't bring with this. So I will not be surprised if all them commissioners, they including the chief electoral commissioner, they all under this ban. However, let's say there is an appeals process when it comes to the policy of inadmissibility. But I wonder if the government get that kind of technical capacity they for go around for appeal about this. Why I'm saying this? We know say people and they will get invitation for go hunger. And if then people and they we have to look for whose kind of delegation get for go, if any delegation get for go. If the delegation not go, it will be a big blow.
You mean to the United Nations Summit?
United Nations General Assembly. So who then get for go now? 1, then get for go now 2. Where then get for go? Where now the issues then get for go confront now 3. How the ICC invites get for go now 4. So we get a lot of international relation and public relations and foreign relation issue them. We don't can compound the domestic problem of hardship. So this is not good for the country, and I don't think anybody is winning out of this situation. And it's high time the APC get a strong case now for go negotiate for a 50-50 deal in my estimation, because they cannot get more than. But again, the biggest deal will be if you cannot produce the results. That means the election is not going to be acceptable. So is there any possibility? Is there any possibility for a rerun? If there's going to be a possibility, how will that be arranged? Who will provide the resources?
And
what will it mean for the current establishment?
The election now?
And come again?
And who that again will conduct the election if ECSL don't get question mark?
That's what I'm saying, because the electoral commissioners they all get question mark. So we are in a very critical moment in the country in political history and democratization process.
Quickly, and let's just take a very short break, and then we'll come back to Gigi Snowfaller, because we need to know the way forward, please. So let's just get a short break. So now.
If they honor you, the success they honor you. If they trouble you, oh me, oh mine. Yes, me people, I'm gonna try remember. Friday, September the 1st, King of the Life Nairobi Lounge. to give una the very best of me. Like for me personally, right now where they fall, like up line like screen, anything where you get out, man, ask me. Street governor crew, me na the admin. If you get the virus, me na the vaccine. So what? If someone no die, someone no go better. Among we self badass people, they will take it now. They sort the house, badass people. So I remember Friday, September the 1st, King Amin go then I will be launched live for logo Yagbadem. Yagbadem. Yeah, I saw the thing go. Yagbadem bad.
Alright, Yagbadem bad. Threat not today not the date with King Amin of the famous or popular song where they say baby show. You know baby show. I like the way you did all anyway, let's just take a very short message from King Amin, quick one. King Amin, welcome to the program.
I want to greet you first. Thank you so much for the good job. And next man, the brother man, I want for Riyadh, the family at large. Salam alaikum. I greet everybody.
All right, King Amin, tell me too. You don't go through this music and you don't hit na salon. You know, we don't dance to your music. Some of you don't dance will not be know, but you know. But at one point, you just go lay low. You just go quiet. What thing happened?
A long story, to be very honest. Things happen. I will keep on for another day. It's a long history, but I forget about music first. I've not been officially come back from music. So one day I visit somebody, I've been singing one song. I think Benny Man is on, and then the person said to me, "You get so much passion for music. Why you decide for it?" I said the story long, and then I begin getting some bits and pieces of her. And then he said, "No, come back to music." I said, "One thing, but Salomon, I said, no respect we craft. We not get people that we get mind invest for we music." I say music is all about investment. If we not get the investment we want, we music need to reach to it. I say so it's very frustrating for like me own kind of talents I get, but I can't waste. I say no, not just keep on at the back. Say waiting get for happen, so now some of the listening and then we make
so
our way back.
finally, you don't decide to come back into music and you don't begin doing things then. Now I think one for Yagbadem and the Yagbadem bang.
Anyway, why do other the country sabi? The way I see people then take into them and then
other music, they also the country sabi.
Other the country sabi. I want to connect. Other the country sabi. Because tell me, other the country sabi. Lamina to Sanko. I will send them to you anyway. The biggest mistake one make, I'm not send them to you. That's the mistake by my side. I don't send them to you, to be very honest. So it like bring me come back now the limelight. So I say, you know what? Now begin doing. And then I go record this year about them. The messages I about them for few people that we don't listen now. Because one side, I don't know if you don't listen the fully about them. One side, they tell you, say, I love more enemies than fake friends. Simplicity, me you survive.
Okay.
Anybody who have there for
I'll tell you one thing about music. I don't listen to full music, but just the song no myself. That careless word at the Yagbadem. That the beat don't make a dance to them. I don't even listen to them. But and today you don't really feel Yagbadem. Who say the Yagba people them?
I go Yagbadem na KFC Ruby Lounge na London. Now they the Yagbadem get for start business. And trust me, say me brother, it get for be. You know me, say me this not to like a me for talk. You know me like when me then a stage, me when come to stagecraft, another semi-final, another Nations Cup, all final and World Cup final, we meet him up on top stage.
At the Yagbadem, bang.
Bad.
Alright, so one for visit you, I mean one for go and attend this Yagba show. Waiting are the get tickets or are you for secure a ticket?
But they expect say by moving for one day by my side for give people and not 20 pounds. But by moving I know you have for they tell people and listen. Not small money 20 pounds and you get for get variety of artists that we get for this net for go spice up. And then I guarantee anybody will go million performance. Anybody will look me today. You know admire the performance. I give you 25 pounds. I give you 5 pounds bonus on top of 20 pounds.
They don't enjoy so they say they don't enjoy.
Me I didn't make much. I'm not saying any other person. Anybody will team up, he look me, including you can testify that. Anybody electing at one person, you look me, you know admire what me do. Trust me, I return the money give you back because I believe in the craft. I master the craft.
Alright.
When it comes to writing, I make if you observe, now me they write me song, now me they direct me video, now me they direct me song how I want some for more. Now me if you observe me jingle, now me self do me jingle. That's how I put everything in waiting I get in me. Because after this, to be very honest, I want to come back full, to be very honest with you.
Alright, so this is not like the opening, the thing for the beginner again.
Exactly, this is the beginning again. That's the
back of King Amin.
Thank you very much. God bless you, me brother. That's not the right word.
Okay.
And
so,
trust me, yeah.
What you go and
go on, you want to say something?
Whether in London or UK or anywhere we want to come and witness the show.
Salon people in the UK, salon people in London, salon people in cut across the world. I just forget a live stream. Obviously, somebody must go live, Facebook or whatever live. But the one that we're fortunate for come and they beg una for God's sake. Una where they come, where they can visit this show. If una not enjoy the show, una look me and me, I say, I not enjoy your performance. I they give you 20 per way pay inside. Then I they had 5 pounds I give you. I say, go me and me give you with all my heart.
But this energy is for a sip and this and jingle here, so you make me self. If I not be listening music, then I just don't like them back fresh, you know. Because honestly, this song here say Adi Yagbaden, I like them so much. I just don't like them. I hope you release them and do the video and let the promotion be very, very grand. Because one of the things that we call the people in the big are the promotion. So I hope you go do the thing. And I want to thank you very much for joining inside the program for talk about this program we get this net. Almost o'clock the show they begin.
The show they start 10 o'clock. From 10 o'clock till 5 in the morning.
London time.
Yeah, London time. Yeah, 10 to 5 in the morning. And please, I want to use this opportunity for thanks everybody who don't promote this song in their own way, including the Weird family. And I want everybody clearly know say, now this very weird. Now they I get for car release who that it comes be the original videos and the full song. Now this very platform I get for car release.
Alright, thank you for joining inside the program.
Thank you for bringing me in and thanks to everybody who they listening right now.
Alright.
Love.
Good luck as you go about you show this net.
Okay, my brother. Thank you very much and God bless you. God bless the family.
And success. Please drop the line, yeah?
Okay then. Okay, brother. Okay.
Alright, I'm sorry that we get a very short thing, but now look into the final part of the program. We're in the way forward. Melvin and Tanko. You know, the guy yagba waiting now in the country, so I make embassy thing, fuel price, ETSA tariff, hardship na the market, all of these things. So yagba all side. Then the yagba we bang. So when do not feel say na the way forward for look come up at this yagba? I'll take you Tanko.
Yeah, I believe say the Yagba Pasmak, really Pasmak. Just like we talk about the elections. At these elections, we need the VR. I believe say you think we support the way Manchester, Arsenal, the Vida Basaman. We game don't play. You don't think you say goal. You get the expert there say no VR check. So now the simple time they put so the elections and say VAR check. The referee now no agree. So and the one the way that the big one then at the West, they say we need the VAR check. So these elections need the VAR check. Whether the goal is a goal or not a goal. If the goal not a goal, then they make the replay. So now that the way forward now voting vote. Meaning the elections, if ECSL wants to save this country, let them make sure that they give the result out from police stations, when they be seen from the local centers, take them to the regional to the national. Because at that day like the constitutions, at that day like the ECSL Act, when they say they pull this result, they say they not get date for pull up. Now the finance the lawyer don't take action against it. They use the Access to Information Act in 2013 and clear. They give a notice of 15 days. And now ultimately don't come the policies or still stubborn. So all about this about VAR. Then for come to the VAR, may show say this result incredible or not. Or without that, what we do back the elections, not to new things. It don't happen in Malawi once more, repeat them. Recently, it don't happen in Kenya. Somebody say don't win election, they say no. When they go back, the clear message come, they even they come. Malawi, the opposition no good at the Supreme Court. They say they don't trust the legal system. Based on the cases they don't go with, where they not even preside over it. And that they own strong point that they put in place. And they believe say they get a case now for present where if they only go to Supreme Court, pass them, pull the results where ECSL they refuse to pull. And indeed, if you want to challenge your teacher, or say he wrong you, when he don't give the comprehensive analysis of your results, they go challenge him. You go tell the principal and say, I be get here 90, but the teacher no give me what I want based on what he get. So the opposition say they go without no get the ECSL their own results. We in a comprehensive one. And you make a point. Maybe say for me, I just take that technical way. So now let this government able listen if they want safely. But again, we see some stubborn leaders in the world where sometimes democratic principles they will be behind the practice like America, then they deal with them, then they take an alternative. Because now even in terms of money basis, they see they get a big summit who can challenge US, the US money because of the season, even African countries they therefore work with that particular trend day. But Salone, I will not believe they reach that level because therefore think out of the box. So in a nutshell, these elections, for let us say everybody in this country will need a very good VR system where they come back for say the election, whether we go back or not. Like a question with the ask.
VAR for we right now.
Yes, and ECSL, the VR, without the VR, they say they do this election back as a real run election. ECSL for the out of that. Because even Malawi, they do, I can always take an example because they follow up them. They count an independent body. We run the election. We make sure that the opposition will win what people want. They win so they don't get pissed. Because this we talk about Africa. Because they see
and one for prevent more Kuna Africa.
Indeed, because just imagine now, October, Liberia they get a you. So automatically, who knows whether Georgia will do the same.
And this now sends strong message to all of them people, and especially Liberia and America get a very close relationship.
Indeed. So with that, to believe say make ECSA watch and do the needful so that say along will save life, get democracy we will need.
Thank you
That's
very much. Tanko from Africa 24 newspaper. Thank you very much. And like I'm over to you, Melvin, what you feel say now the way forward for preventing people and the government of Salone from this Boku Yagba?
Well, the government will face the reality, and the reality now that the election results in contention, and unless ECSL produce that result, and of course the opposition also, if they want to use that as its trump card, they can use them for the rest of the days because it's very, very tenable. However, in the interest of the public and the people of Sierra Leone, I think say both SLPP and APC, therefore understand that the greater majority will suffer. And it's good that now there are targeted sanctions. But looking at the standards being applied, ordinary people are also going to suffer more. So because nobody know they win, we also accept say we need to address the issues. And one of which to do with the fallout from the just concluded elections, and institutions therefore be democratic enough. Who said they make mistake, come out and say they make mistake, and we correct their mistake. Then they, rather than trying to hide up their mistake, we still continue the stalemate. And the more the stalemate they continue, the more it seemingly become irreversible. Women say same follow for repair, it will difficult because look at, for example, governance composition now. You don't get ministers and sworn in, they don't begin work. So if you come to the real issues around the election, what happens to those people holding new government portfolios? So it make the country in a state of uncertainty, and people of influence, prominence, and conscience for accept say nobody not the win in this. But above all, the government for advice, the one way they go talk for and for them to talk the reality and let them talk sense. Attempting for downplay the situation or play on the intelligence of the people is just the worst in the situation. And of course, security-wise, this has got a threat to national security against the context of, we know say people and the way they under detention, some of them they in already run on the hiding and things like that. And we are in getting kind of situation and they for alleged crimes of mutiny, and nothing is being done to try them people and if evidence there against them, it can't be safe. And no wonder President Biosef say will not take the security for granted. Economically, it's scary. It's scary because the inflation the high, the exchange rate is also the high, and the more than people and they when at the west not the calm, the more dollar not go flow. Remember that the dollar in price go down. It's clear from the supplementary budget because of Boku international partners then become in touch with couple. So outside them couple they need to stop, the economy go starve, and the ordinary man will work for government and we get for pay government get for pay will suffer. The implications they're huge, and nationally I think say this it means say we need to come out as a nation, and that space for the people and come out for tell the APC and the SLPC enough is enough, and we stand for lots more. I think we are fastly approaching that. It will better let civilians and take to the street peacefully and demonstrate for democracy and peace rather than Sujaman and demonstrate for we. It will be the worst moment that the country
is
history.
But when the government not ready for the civilian and protest against them now?
Well, that means that the government also for canon the high horse and accept the reality. They cannot continue for stifle people their rights for assemble and express themselves. It better let people and go on the streets and demonstrate peacefully than people and the sabotage economically. Because you see, say there are elements of sabotaging going on. So there are many ways to kill a rat, and let the government not forget, say the government in this case can be easily come a rat if they allow the situation then for compound them and not go serve in the interest of the people that they want for serve. So as at now, the big issue, government for address the issue of the election and the politics, and there is a need now for let the APC self go on the drawing board and let them get an agreement. Of course, it will be a very difficult negotiation if ECSL not pull the real results. That's going to be very difficult, and nobody can predict what comes out of it. Right. If the bygone is going to be bygone, that would be based on an agreement that perhaps when the SLP completes in 5 years, perceivably by the career then get us, so then we're expecting a regime change. Should there be a regime change after the next 5 years? What will happen? I think say the country might fast reverse democratically. So for the nationalists, for the patriots, for we will elect Salone, for nothing nobody not the win. Yes, now APC go to celebrate, but the implications then far reaching than APC and SLPP, and therefore do with the national interest of Sierra Leone.
All right. Thank you very much, Melvin Tijanman-Sari, and thank you very much, Tanko. You know, I appreciate on our time this morning, on our valuable time when I don't give you inside the program this morning. For when I talk to the people of Sierra Leone on issues, then we get for with national, issues. So we appreciate tonight. Thank you very much, Melvin and Tanko, and thanks to you who watch the program. The producer for this program, not Elias Abba. You will not like the program, please consider for like before ever you go. And I'll tell you, say this net. When they get Femi Claudius School, yesterday we don't get them, but the internet make we name for come on yesterday. But this net Femi Claudius School will do with we for let we discuss issues them, especially the issue of this US visa ban and other big issues that will happen along the way. These are the first step we can get Femi Claudius School after the election. So until then, we love you all so much. Thank you. God bless you, country Sierra Leone, where we call we are.
He honor you, the success they honor you. He trouble you, oh me, oh mine. Yes, me people, they wanna try remember. Friday, September the 1st, King of the Life Nairobi Lounge. For you the very best of me, like for me personally. Right now, where they fall, like up line, like three. Anything where you get out, man, ask me. Street governor crew, me na the admin. If you get the virus, me na the vaccine. So what? If someone no die, someone no go better. Among we self badass people, they will take them out, they sort their house, badass people. Say remember, Friday, September the 1st, King Amit Goden, I will be launched live for Logo Yak. Badem! Yak badem! They are so the thing go. Yak badem bad! Yak badem! Yak badem lengben! Yak badem! Yak badem bad! Yak badem!